When people talk about the greatest players in NBA history, names like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird often come up. But Scottie Pippen's name is frequently overlooked, despite his essential role in the Chicago Bulls dynasty of the 1990s. Pippen was more than just Michael Jordan's sidekick, he was an exceptional player in his own right. With his defensive versatility, playmaking ability, and unselfish approach, Pippen redefined what it meant to be a supporting star and helped elevate the Bulls to 6 championships. But how good was Scottie Pippen in his prime? And how did his constant competition and complex relationship with Michael Jordan shape his career? Scottie Pippen's legacy is multifaceted. Known as one of the greatest two-way players, his contributions went beyond scoring and stats. His adaptability, his selflessness, and his basketball IQ made him one of the best forwards the game has ever seen. In this deep dive, we'll explore Scottie Pippen's rise to greatness, his role in the Bulls dynasty, and the rivalry and brotherhood he shared with Jordan that pushed him to become a Hall of Famer. Scottie Pippen's journey to the NBA was unconventional. Born in rural Hamburg, Arkansas, he was the youngest of 12 children, and his athletic abilities were evident from a very young age. However, Pippen wasn't heavily recruited out of high school. His path took him to the University of Central Arkansas, a small NAIA school where he played well but still went unnoticed by most NBA scouts. Yet, his skills improved, and by the time he finished college, Pippen had transformed himself from a relatively unknown player into a prospect who caught the eye of NBA teams. In the 1987 NBA draft, the Seattle Supersonics selected Pippen with the 5th overall pick, but immediately traded him to the Chicago Bulls. The trade was one of the most pivotal moves in NBA history, as it set the stage for Pippen's partnership with Michael Jordan. Even as a rookie, Pippen showed flashes of his all-around skills, particularly on defense, where his length and athleticism allowed him to guard multiple positions. His offensive game was still developing, but it was clear that he had the tools to be very special. When Pippen arrived in Chicago, Michael Jordan was already an established superstar, having averaged over 35 points per game in the previous season. Jordan's competitiveness and relentless pursuit of greatness were well known, and this environment was both a blessing and a challenge for the young Pippen. Jordan's presence forced Pippen to elevate his game and quickly adapt to the demands of the NBA. The two quickly developed a relationship that was part mentorship, part rivalry, as Jordan would push Pippen in practice, challenging him to rise to the occasion. Jordan's intense approach wasn't easy to handle, but it molded Pippen into a fierce competitor. He developed his defensive skills to complement Jordan's scoring prowess, becoming one of the few players in the league who could guard elite players at every position. Pippen's versatility allowed Jordan to conserve energy on defense, knowing that he had a capable partner by his side. The two formed a bond on the court that was built on mutual respect and a shared goal of winning championships. Despite being in Jordan's shadow, Pippen continued to improve, showing flashes of brilliance on both ends of the floor. By his 3rd season, Pippen was becoming a formidable player, known for his relentless defense, fast break ability, and evolving offensive skills. As the Bulls' second option, Pippen's role was crucial, but his hunger to prove himself was always present. In many ways, Pippen's rivalry with Jordan was one of friendly competition that drove him to be his best. The 1990-91 season marked a turning point for both the Bulls and Scottie Pippen. As Pippen's skills matured, he became an all-star for the first time, averaging over 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. He was no longer just Jordan's sidekick. He was a key player in his own right, capable of taking over games and making critical plays in high-pressure moments. This season, the Bulls were poised to make a deep playoff run, and Pippen's emergence as a two-way star was instrumental in their success. Pippen's contributions during the Bulls' first three-peat from 1991 to 1993 were essential. In the 1991 finals against the Los Angeles Lakers, Pippen's defense on Magic Johnson was one of the defining moments of the series. His length, his speed, and agility made him a nightmare matchup for Johnson, who struggled to find his rhythm. Pippen's ability to shut down one of the game's all-time greats on the biggest stage showed that he was way more than just a complimentary player. He was an indispensable part of the Bulls' championship formula. During this era, Pippen's all-around game flourished. He averaged around 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists per game, but it was his defensive prowess that truly set him apart. Pippen's ability to guard every position made him the Bulls' defensive anchor, allowing them to employ aggressive defensive schemes. His unselfishness and willingness to play whatever role was needed made him the perfect complement to Jordan's scoring dominance. And together, they created one of the most effective duos in NBA history. The relationship between Pippen and Jordan was super complex. On the one hand, they were brothers in arms, united by a shared desire to win at all costs. On the other hand, there was an underlying tension, as Pippen constantly battled the perception of being Jordan's second fiddle. Jordan's competitive fire was legendary, and he pushed Pippen hard, often to the point of tension. Practices were intense, with Jordan frequently challenging Pippen to be tougher, more aggressive, and more confident. Pippen's personality was quieter and more reserved compared to Jordan's fiery disposition. But he had an unspoken resilience that allowed him to withstand Jordan's intensity. Their rivalry was one that helped Pippen grow as a player. Jordan's presence may have overshadowed Pippen, but it also elevated him, bringing out the best in his game. Pippen's ability to accept his role despite his own ambitions speaks volumes about his character and dedication to winning. The 1992 Dream Team experience added another layer to their relationship, as the members of the iconic squad that represented the USA at the Barcelona Olympics, Pippen and Jordan not only dominated the international stage together, but also strengthened their bond. Competing alongside other NBA greats, Pippen earned respect as an elite player in his own right. The world saw that Pippen was more than Jordan's sidekick. He was a legitimate superstar who would excel alongside the best of the best. In 1993, Michael Jordan shocked the world by retiring from basketball to pursue a career in baseball. For the first time, Pippen found himself as the focal point of the Chicago Bulls. Many wondered if Pippen could carry the team without Jordan, but he quickly silenced the doubters. During the 1993-94 season, Pippen averaged 22 points, 8.7 rebounds, and 5.6 assists per game, leading the Bulls to 55 wins and finishing third on the MVP race. The 1993-94 season showcased Pippen's full potential as a leader and all-around player. His versatility, basketball IQ, and defensive acumen were on full display, as he led the Bulls on both ends of the floor. Although they didn't win a championship that year, Pippen's performance proved that he was more than capable of leading a team. His leadership during this season earned him respect across the league and validated his status as one of the NBA's elite. However, this season also brought its challenges. In the playoffs against the New York Knicks, Pippen's frustration boiled over during a critical moment when he refused to re-enter the game after coach Phil Jackson designed a final play for Tony Kukoc instead of him. While Kukoc hit the game-winning shot, the incident cast a shadow over Pippen's season, highlighting the inner conflict he felt about his role. Despite this moment, Pippen's performance in Jordan's absence solidified his legacy as one of the game's most versatile and complete players. When Jordan returned to the Bulls in 1995, Pippen once again adjusted his role to accommodate his superstar teammate. However, this time around, Pippen was a seasoned veteran with a more defined identity as a player. Together with Jordan and Dennis Rodman, Pippen helped the Bulls achieve their second three-peat from 1996 to 1998, cementing the team as one of the greatest dynasties in sports history. Pippen's contributions during these championship years went beyond scoring and stats. His defense, court vision, and leadership were integral to the Bulls' success. Pippen's versatility allowed Chicago to employ one of the most formidable defenses in NBA history, with Pippen often guarding the opponent's best scorer. His unselfishness and willingness to play a supporting role allowed Jordan to thrive, while his basketball IQ and experience provided stability. In the 1997 and 1998 finals, Pippen battled injuries but continued to play through pain, demonstrating his toughness and dedication to winning. His contributions were essential to the Bulls' victories, even if Jordan received the majority of the accolades. The second three-peat solidified Pippen's legacy as a player who could rise to any occasion, whether as a primary scorer or a defensive anchor. Scottie Pippen's prime was defined by his versatility, defense, and unselfish play. He was a unique player who could impact the game without dominating the ball, and his ability to guard multiple positions made him invaluable. Pippen's stats, such as his career averages of 16.1 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 5.2 assists per game, may not seem extraordinary at first glance, but his impact on the game was far greater than numbers alone. Pippen's contributions to the Bulls' 6 championships, his 7 All-Star selections, and his 8 All-Defensive First-Team honors reflect his greatness. He was a player who made sacrifices for the greater good of the team. Pippen's career is a testament to the value of selflessness, teamwork, and adaptability, qualities that made him one of the greatest players of all time. Scottie Pippen's legacy is one of quiet greatness. Though he played in Jordan's shadow, his contributions were essential to the Bulls' success. His influence can be seen in modern players who emphasize defense, versatility, and unselfishness. Pippen's ability to excel in both leading and supporting roles is rare, and his legacy is a reminder that greatness isn't always defined by scoring titles or MVP awards. In the end, Scottie Pippen's prime years were as impactful as any players in NBA history. He wasn't the flashiest or most dominant scorer, but his basketball intelligence, defensive prowess, and competitive spirit made him an irreplaceable piece of one of the greatest teams ever assembled. Pippen's legacy endures as an example of how a player can achieve greatness through versatility, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to team success.